2 weeks ago, I took my younger sister to her first protest. She will be a freshman at Wilson next year. We walked down Pennsylvania Avenue from the White House toward the Capitol, tracking the same steps I took during my own first experience protesting as a freshman at Wilson. I remember an unusually hot fall day when we held a walkout after Trump's election. Our Wilson classmates had initiated the movement, and dozens of schools followed our lead, from across the city, Maryland, and Virginia. The metro was packed, and the edge of someone's "Climate change is real" sign kept poking me in my side. Emerging from the station, I saw the Capitol dome gleaming very bright against the blue sky. We marched down to the Trump Hotel, hundreds of students chanting. More signs: my body, my choice, Black Lives Matter. I turned around to see a Wilson sophomore clinging to the Benjamin Franklin statue, holding a sign that read, "Love Trump's hate," and "We are Wilson High School." I was inspired. I was proud. 4 years later, I was in the same spot, surrounded by hundreds of passionate people expressing their views. So much and so little has changed. I felt similar emotions of outrage and hope, of frustration and commitment. But as we leave for whatever is next, the situation seems worse, not better. And in this cause, I'm not directly impacted by the circumstances, by racism. While I was supporting my friends and the Black community, being an ally is not the same. In this moment, I have doubts about whether I should be the person talking to you today. I'm here because I did well in school, but the things that are important are not measured by test scores and grades. I speak on behalf of our class, but now, more than ever, I acknowledge that I do not represent every Wilson student. I cannot understand the experiences that each of you has gone through at Wilson or in life. But I do feel deeply connected to you all through what we shared, being a part of the Wilson community together. No other school in our city or our region has the authentic diversity that we do. We look like the future of our country, and we are defined by our shared grit, integrity, compassion, and tiger pride. Thinking back to that statue in front of the Trump Hotel, Ben Franklin said, "Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are." We are Wilson. We are outraged. You all have taught me so much. At every commencement speech, someone stands up and tells graduates that they're going to change the world. Then the graduates go off to work or school or families. They fall into routines. They shout at the television screen or gripe to their friends over a beer. Life goes on. But this time must be for real. As Wilson students, we have never shied away from activism. Our classmates have led action on gun violence, LGBTQ rights, mental health, and racial justice. This is the start, but not enough. We have been nicknamed the snowflake generation because people see us as fragile, entitled, easily offended, self-important. We all got a participation trophy. They are wrong. They are very wrong. We believe in celebrating what makes each of us unique, but valuing what makes each of us different is what brings us together. We are resilient. We grew up amidst a never-ending war, school shootings, and the Great Recession. In fact, we have more in common with the greatest generation, born like us at the turn of the century. Those Americans came together across race and gender to defeat fascism in World War II, liberate the Jews from the Holocaust, rebuild the rest of the world, and make our country a global beacon of liberty and opportunity. And while the Army remained segregated throughout that war, the impact of African American service inspired the modern civil rights movement. And when the leaders of the greatest generation came to political power, they ultimately enacted the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Just as they were called to greatness then, so are we now. It's true what everyone says. We'll be returning to a new normal, but it cannot just be one that forces Wilson to put soap in the bathrooms. Wherever each of us goes from here, we must not forget what we discovered about each other and ourselves amidst the diversity of Wilson. And we must commit ourselves not to criticism, but to action. Because as Teddy Roosevelt said, it is not the critic who counts, not the one who points out how the strong stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the one who is actually in the arena, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends themselves in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if they fail, at least fails while daring greatly. For our families, our friends, our community, our country, for each other, dare greatly.